I have something pretty wild to share with you in this video today. I've had a lot of success in my Moneyline Parlay bets starting the first week of 2024, but unfortunately I've been seeing the Moneyline numbers go up a little bit, which means there's less value in some of these bets. But what I wasn't aware of until just recently is you can actually switch these from Moneyline Parlay bets to teasers, 6-point teasers, 7-point teasers, and so on, and get better value. And I want to be careful here. Sometimes the teaser gives you better value, but sometimes the Moneyline Parlay bet gives you better value. So you got to be really careful here. If you really have to do your homework here and look at the numbers, I'm going to show you two examples in today's video where the teasers give you better value than potential Moneyline Parlay bets. But before we get to those, let's look at the model picks for week 5. Now last weekend the model went 4-4 on the spread bets, and my Moneyline Parlay bets went 1-1. I'm looking forward to week 5 and beyond because the model gets sharper. As the sports books lines get sharper, the model does better. Basically from week 5 to about week 15, the model does really well. And again, my Moneyline Parlay bets are 4-2 so far, so we're making a lot of money on Moneyline Parlay bets. And as I just mentioned, I'm going to show you a couple of teasers today that actually have better value than these Moneyline Parlay bets. So which teams does the model like this week? It likes the Browns plus 4.5 against the Vikings. Now, even though the Browns are the designated home team, this game is in London, so this is really a neutral site. Now, there is a plus 4.5 out there. You got to look for it, but most books have this at plus 3.5 for the Browns. Now, I was really kind of confused here because the Browns are putting in their new rookie quarterback. I wasn't quite sure why the model liked this, but I'm pretty sure I know the reason why. The Browns defense is elite, and the total for this game is very low, like 36.5. So I think because the total is so low and the Browns are getting 4.5 points on this one particular sports book, I think that's why the model likes this pick. It also likes the Patriots plus 8.5 at the Bills. And this agrees with one of the trend picks I mentioned in my Tuesday video. It likes the Commanders plus 2.5 at the Chargers and the Cowboys minus 2.5 at the Jets. Now, it's not easy to place a bet with either of these two teams down here at the bottom, but the Cowboys offense is not bad. In fact, they put up 40 points on the Packers last weekend. So if Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense can move the ball and score on the Jets, I'm just hoping that their defense is good enough to keep the Jets out of the end zone. Okay, let's talk about the teasers now. And this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. Check this out. Moneyline parlays versus teasers. These are screenshots I've taken off of FanDuel this morning on Thursday morning. And I actually got really good value with these two teams, the Rams and the Colts on the money line on Tuesday. I posted that after I made my Tuesday video. I got minus 290 on the money line for the Rams and the Colts on ESPN Bet, which means I got really good parlay odds. I got minus 124. But because this money line has moved on both of these teams, especially for the Rams, the parlay odds are at minus 175, and there's no longer value in this bet. So this is a money line parlay bet on the left. But look over here on the right, this is a teaser bet. If we take the Rams and the Colts plus 7 points, what does that do? That actually brings the Rams down to minus 0.5. In other words, just to win the game. And it brings the Colts to plus 0.5. Now I know a lot of people say don't tease through 0, and I get that. But I'm not looking for these two teams to cover the spread. I'm actually using this just for these two teams to win. And if I just want these two teams to win, and I'm getting half a point for the Colts, that's just icing on the cake. I don't really even care about that. So now what I have over here on the right-hand side is I just want these two teams to win. And if I put these two teams together in a 7-point teaser, I get minus 150 odds down here on the right. So look at the odds. Basically, I'm looking at the same thing on both sides. I just want both of these teams to win. But instead of doing a moneyline parlay bet over here and getting minus 175 odds, I can do a 7-point teaser over here and get minus 150. Much better odds over here on the right. So again, I'm ignoring the fact I'm going through 0 because I just want these two teams to win, and that's it. Now again, it doesn't always work out this way. Sometimes a moneyline parlay bet is a better deal. And in fact, we've been getting better value for the moneyline parlay bets for most of the last year and a half. But now as the sportsbooks raise their moneyline numbers, the advantage might swing back over here to the teasers. So as I mentioned, this is my post back on Tuesday afternoon. So check out my Tuesday video if you want to get early moneyline value. Again, the moneyline parlay odds were minus 124 on Tuesday, which is even better than what I just showed you. But my real odds are minus 150. But that value, that edge here is gone because those moneyline numbers have gone up. So instead, it's better to take a 7-point teaser. So my first teaser bet for this video, I have the Rams at minus 7.5. This is on FanDuel. And the Colts minus 6.5. Add 7 points to both of those teams. Put them together in a 7-point teaser. The teaser odds are minus 150. My real odds are minus 150. So there's not a lot of value here. But I still like this bet. And I'm getting half a point for the Colts. Now, it's very important to understand here. We're not taking these to plus 7. We're just adding 7 points to both of these spread numbers. Okay, this next one is pretty wild. Now I'm looking at 3 teams. Just because a team is heavily favored and they don't fit in a 2-team or even a 3-team moneyline parlay bet, I don't like to stay away from that. Now, the screenshots I'm showing you now are from DraftKings. Again, this is on Thursday morning. DraftKings has the Rams at minus 8.5-point favorites or minus 485 on the money line. The Detroit Lions minus 550 on the money line and Bills minus 425. You put these 3 teams together in a 3-team moneyline parlay bet, you get minus 132. Well, guess what? My real odds, the odds that I have by looking at data says this should be minus 125. So that would actually be a negative EV bet. But again, moving to the right-hand side and looking at this 10-point teaser. 10-point teasers are called super teasers. This is for 3 teams. If I had 10 points to all 3 of these teams, to the negative 8.5 for the Rams, and negative 10.5 for the Lions, and negative 8.5 for the Bills, I'm going to get plus 1.5 for the Rams, negative 0.5 for the Lions, which just means we want them to win, and plus 1.5 for the Bills. Put these three teams together in a 10-point super teaser, and we get minus 120 odds. This is not exactly the same thing I showed you on the last example. I do not have good odds for this moneyline parlay bet, but over here I do have minus 125 odds for the three-team super teaser, so that's an edge. So my final teaser bet is add 10 points to each of these teams. Again, that takes that to 1.5 for the Rams, negative 0.5 for the Lions, and 1.5 for the Bills. So adding 10 points to all three of those teams, putting those together in a super 10-point teaser. I got minus 120 teaser odds, but my real odds are minus 125. So that's my final teaser bet for this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. I just have to say, I get a big kick out of looking at numbers and looking for edges. So while this might seem like a lot of work, for me it is certainly something I enjoy doing. Good luck in week 5. Let's go!